In this movie, I'll show you how to fill in general background details that may go missing after you straighten an image. So in this case, I've got this photograph that I took of a shark when I was immediately underneath it. And I was grateful to have gotten the photograph in the first place, but it's not quite straight, as you may be able to see here. What I want to do is angle this guy a little bit counterclockwise so that he's straight up and down. And so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the ruler tool by selecting it from the eyedropper tool flyout menu once again. And then I'll drag down along the axis of this shark. Now, you may notice that we don't have a heads-up display next to the cursor when we're using the ruler tool, as we do with the straighten tool, but you can see the angle listed up here in the options bar. And so if I were to move one of these points, you can see that angle value change on the fly. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this guy to probably right at negative 91.5 degrees. And then I'll go ahead and click on the straighten layer button in order to straighten the image. And you can see that we end up with these transparent wedges in each of the four corners, which obviously is not something I want. So the first thing I'm going to do is crop the image using the crop tool. So I'll go ahead and select the crop tool immediately above the ruler tool. Now I want to bring both the left and right edges inward by the same amount. So I'll go ahead and press the Alt key here on the PC. That's the Option key on the Mac. And I'll drag this left edge inward so that I have no transparency left over here on the left and right sides. Now I'll go ahead and drag the shark upward while pressing the Shift key. And the reason I'm pressing the Shift key is to constrain the angle of my drag to exactly vertical so I don't end up wobbling the shark back and forth. And that looks great at the top of the image, but we have a bunch of checkerboard transparency down here at the bottom, which turns out actually to be all right because this is pretty generalized background information that I can rebuild inside Photoshop. So I'll just go ahead and press the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac to accept that change. And now we're going to take advantage of one of Photoshop's basically miraculous functions known as Content-Aware Fill. And so the first thing we need to do is select the area that we want to fill. And the easiest way to do that is to go ahead and click and hold on the lasso tool right there, and then choose the polygonal lasso tool, which is the second one in the flyout menu. Now, we're going to be talking about the selection tools in all kinds of detail in a future chapter. But for now, just know that you use this tool by clicking. So you just have to click, you don't have to drag, and then you click at a different location and make sure you're under the tail right here. Don't click on the tail, click underneath it. We have just a little sliver of background detail there to click on. And then click over here like so. So go ahead and click all the way out in that dark gray pasteboard. And notice what you're doing here is you're creating corners in a straight-sided selection outline. And then once you get back all the way over here to the left-hand side of the image, go ahead and double-click in order to complete that selection like so. Now what you want to do is go up to the Edit menu and choose the Fill command, which is about midway down, and that'll bring up the Fill dialog box. Now you want to make sure that this very first option here, Contents, is set to this guy, Content Aware, which again, total miracle feature, really great function inside Photoshop. And where this image is concerned, you're probably going to have better luck if you turn on this color adaptation checkbox. Make sure your blending options are set to their defaults, meaning that mode is normal, opacity is 100%, and preserve transparency is turned off. That's very important. And then go ahead and click on the OK button, and that will go ahead and fill in those missing details like so. Now, if you end up getting a little repetition of the tail down here at the bottom of the image, then just go ahead and deselect the image by going up to the Select menu and choosing the Deselect command. Notice that it has a keyboard shortcut of Control-D or Command-D on the Mac. And then you can return to the rectangular marquee tool right here near the top of the toolbox and just go ahead and marquee around that area and then return to the Edit menu, choose the Fill command once again, and go ahead and reapply the Content Aware function by clicking OK. And that will go ahead and take another stab at that area. In my case, though, I actually liked what I had before better. So I'll press Control-Z or Command-Z on the Mac to undo that change. And then I'll press Shift-F in order to fill the screen with the image, and Control-0 or Command-0 on the Mac to zoom out. And that's how you reestablish very general background details that go missing after straightening an image using the imaging miracle of Content-Aware Fill here inside Photoshop.